Good morning. Proper day off for me yesterday, so I haven't got a clue what happened in the football. So let's have a look at yesterday's matches. Anything catch the eye? 1.06 Wolfsberger in the Austrian Cup. Again, the scoreline inferred by the odds, 1.06. Well, 1.18 Reed, 5-0. So watch out for that this coming season. 1.3 and lower infers goals, usually. I say usually, we'll go to Grazia in a minute. 1.06 Wolfsberger 3-1, 1.18 Reed 5-0. You're expecting a win to nil ordinarily. If I do a correct score play, I will include just the possibility of a goal for the opponent. Well, looking at Grazia. Oh dear, 1.10 favourite Grazia. And these odds-on favourites have been dropping down like flies this week with the Champions League first leg qualifiers, etc. It was a Herbally penalty in the 6th minute for Dornbirn, who obviously have a very big bus, which they parked for that one. That's actually a break-even trade, that, wouldn't it? Because what you'd do, you cover the insurance, you cover that scoreline, and you probably go match odds. Or you'd best way to play this, given it's such an early goal and a penalty, would be to possibly play the half-time market, keep the liabilities low. Well, we're back to the normal pattern with St Polton, 1.29, scoring 5 goals and clean sheet. 1.04, Marchfeld, scoring 6 goals, conceding 1. 1.20, Admira, scoring 3 goals. 1.07, First Vienna, scoring 3 goals. 1.14, Tyrol, scoring 4 goals. 1.05, Linz, scoring 3 goals. You get the idea. 1.05, Oberwart, the mighty Oberwart, by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. 7 goals scored for the 1.05 shots. 1.01 Sturm Graz scoring 4. So don't dismiss short prices. Inherent in their odds is the assumption for goals and the assumption for a comfortable win and a possible win to nil. Now, those of you with a creative bent can start creating bets within the match. I can't remember what the term is. Bet builder, that's the one. So those of you with a creative mind can build a bet builder with these shorties. Let's take Oberwart, for example. What are you going to infer from a 1.05 shot? We're going to infer they're going to score before half-time. Probable win to nil. Probably scoring both halves. The forwards are going to have a good chance of scoring 2 or 3 goals. You can actually build a bet builder, which is an accumulator on the actual match. So you'd be looking for goals scored in both halves. You'd be looking for a win to nil. You'd be looking for the strikers to score because you're expecting Oberwart to score tons. You're expecting over 4.5 goals or over 3.5 goals. Clean sheet win. Add all that into a bet builder and you're turning that 1.05 shot into a possible really decent return. Europa League yesterday, Royal Union St Gilloise going to be up there or thereabouts for the title. Antwerp, did they score the first goal? Opening day of the season, so not going to get too carried away with it. But a penalty missed for Union St Gilloise cost them the 3 points. And it's P. David, so stick him on your clown board, along with the other professional footballers being paid 6 figures a week to miss a ball from 12 yards. I'm not bitter at all. So let's have a look elsewhere yesterday. We had the Irish football yesterday as well. So let's work our way down. Danish Super League, Randers getting their first win after Vejle kept them very quiet in their opener. And that went against the run of the, well, what the market expected, 1.9 Aarhus. But it's far too early in the season for us to be having ultra strong Danish interests. I'm only mentioning it because it's a quiet coupon. Simple as that. First division, this is what we normally expect, over 2.5 goals in the Danish first division. We've got it in 2 matches and we've got a 1-1 in the third. Did B93 score first against that 1.53 home favourites Lyngby? If they did, you've got a possible trade. And indeed they did in the 32nd minute. Getting a 71st minute Thorvaldsen equaliser for Lyngby. And it's been the habit really for us traders to get out at the first opportunity, I think, in these wobbly leagues that are just beginning that we don't have any form lines on. If you get out at the first outcome. Jarrow and VPS, not quite what VPS expected this. Jarrow putting in a 2-goal haul, getting a 2-2. Did they lead at any stage, Jarrow? Well, all second half, so that was an automatic note for yourself. 0-0 at half time. You'll be looking for goals second half. Simple way. Lay the draw, hope the favourite score first. Draw odds will rise. You will cash out. But Jarrow coming from behind and actually led in the 68th minute. And then M. Fall making it a equaliser for VPS. So any angles, second half, you can see you've got a first half angle into the second half in that VPS match. You're expecting goals in the Finnish Veikkausliiga between those two, particularly if you've read my research. Irish Premier Division, Irish First Division, Cork City against Sligo. Cork City having a woeful season. Not sure I would have played this. 2.45, the favourite. Galway beaten by Waterford as well. So all sorts of upsets in the Irish Premier Division, Irish First Division. But what have you noted about both of these leagues from a neutral perspective? Well, quite clear, isn't it? Both teams to score in all bar one. Over 2.5 goals in all bar one of the Irish Premier Division, Irish First Division matches. So you've got that handle in. Dundalk and Wexford looks very interesting, doesn't it? 1.51 home side. Dundalk winning 3-2. But did they have to go around the houses to get that win? Well, they did lead. And they made it 2-0 at half time. So no play. I wouldn't have looked at Wexford coming back. Which indeed, they didn't really trouble that 2-goal lead for Dundalk. But it's interesting when you get a 3-2 like that. Possibility that Wexford could have possibly taken a lead in that match. So that was Friday. Nice, relaxing day off for me. So didn't play any of these. But the angles are there. Fredrikstad against Stroms as well. You'd be solidly with Fred throughout on this, regardless of what Stroms achieved. Termillica, a side for you to target this season in the Polish Ekstraklasa. Newly promoted, wonderful result in their opener, but they're being brought back down to earth now, conceding 2 goals very easily, it must be said. So Termillica, watch out when they're playing the Lech Poznans, the Rajikas, not Rajika, Rakow, Rajikas from Croatia. Metaglobalist, they're newly promoted as well, and they got absolutely chonked as well in Romania. Unpronounceable name, Siuk, newly promoted as well, and got beaten. So we're getting some patterns emerging just in these small leagues. These newly promoted sides are gettable. It seems only 2 matches in, but already patterns are emerging. Very leaky defences, possibility of conceding in the first half. Zurich and Sion watching brief at the start of the Super League. Great to have the Swiss back. The young boys are our usual staple, along with FC Basel, if they turn up this season. They turned up last season, but the season before they were all over the shop. They were Basel faulty the season before. Looking on to today, and it's busy on the coupon, particularly with the Austrian Cup. You saw the relationship between short odds and goals in the Austrian Cup yesterday. Watch out for that today. We've got starting off on the coupon a 1.25 and a 1.01 shot. I would caution you to lay these 1.01s and 1.02s. Highly unlikely Red Bull Salzburg are going to be stopped, but they are in the midst of a first and second leg European tie. So that's the distraction, and it's not Red Bull Salzburg, is it? It's a Salzburg. Red Bull Salzburg are below 1.02. So it brings its expectations, doesn't it? Win to 0, breakthrough before half time. Strikers for Salzburg to get themselves 2 goals or more. Have a go in these bet builders if you want. You can go to our friends, the bookmakers, the ever generous bookmakers, and build a bet builder from there. Have a bit of fun. Las Glints 107 Hartberg. All familiar names from the Austrian Bundesliga, which will be with us very soon. Has potential, the Austrian Cup, has to be in-play stats led because there might be some liquidity issues as well with some better football elsewhere. Belgian Jupiler League returns this season. 2.4 the favourite Cercle Brugge begins. 2.6 the favourite Standard Liège against RAAL La Louvière, who look to be a newly promoted side. And Standard Liège are not given much room here. away to this newly promoted side. I would have had Standard Liège as the favourite, but that's one to look at. RAAL La Louvière, newly promoted. Are they as vulnerable as the Romanians? Newly promoted side. Czech One League, we've got the big guns out today. But do watch out. They might be in the midst of a first and second leg European tie. Slavia Prague against Bose. Poulsen against Jablonec. Sigma Olomouc. These are likely to be the top 5 this season. Hradec Kralova. Lots of odds on favourites in the Czech Republic today. At 4 o'clock, that's going to be on my radar for you. Copenhagen against Vejle. Vejle, very, I can't find the words today. I've got a touch of the old Joe Bidens with my brain. Vejle, very impressive. That's the word. Big word, you see. Very impressive in their opener against Randers, where they got that equaliser late on, and they were racking up something like 13, 14 shots off target. Copenhagen are in the middle, and you can see sides who are in the middle of European fixtures, because that's, especially this early, Copenhagen do not want to cock this European campaign up. So they might even sacrifice a league fixture, like Mourinho's sides have done over the years. Sacrifice a league fixture prior to the Champions League event. But at uk.soccerway.com, you can get an indicator of upcoming fixtures. You can see it's a 2-0 lead against Drita in the Champions League for Copenhagen. Now they've got a league match. You're going to see that this season, the distraction of European club competition for these sides in their domestic league matches. Now, this is a banana skin waiting to happen for Copenhagen at 1.3, with Vejle's highly impressive shots off target stats and equaliser against Randers in their opener. Don't forget, they're newly promoted, likely to be tonked by the Champions League Copenhagen. But you never know. The distraction of getting through 2 legs and then having to win at the weekend might be a little bit too much for Copenhagen, but they are seasoned Champions League side. Danish First Division will get short shrift at the moment, 2.25 the favourite for both matches. But Hovedovre matches tend to be good matches for goals. So that's all I will say there. Finnish Veikkausliiga, Haka against KTP and Mariehamn against Oulu. This is a Mariehamn who can beat second and third at home. So Oulu may have a surprise ahead at 2 p.m. Let's have a quick look at the stats for both of the Finnish Veikkausliiga matches. KTP are bottom and automatically gettable. Their only wins have come against the side they beat home and away, which suggests that side was a bogey side for them. Haka should be expecting against bottom side KTP. Mariehamn are a very dangerous trading side. They are unreadable. As I've alluded to, they beat first and third at home, and then they start losing against fourth and lower. They do have the ammunition if they require it, Mariehamn, particularly at home. We might see a 2-2, something like that today. All defeats bar a 0-0 against the top 10 for Oulu, so a little bit lukewarm there. Longford against Bray in the Irish First Division is probably not one to focus on too much. I will see if I've done the research for it and let you know. 4 out of 5 wins against 6th and lower for Bray were 1-0s. Normally when I see a pattern like that, I would be backing 0-0 pre-match with the hope of getting out at half-time. We're hoping for a tight 0-0 and at Bray's 0-1 if they're going to win. Norwegian Elite Serien. Haugesund against HamKam. 2.25 the favourite. KFUM Oslo. 2.2 the favourite. Evens Sandefjord at home. Bodo Glimt expected against Vejle. Let's just have a look at the key stats for these 4 matches. Only 1-0 at half-time for Haugesund and HamKam matches. And this is the bottom 3. So I would be personally moving on or in place stats. Can you trust the bottom 3? A bit like Tromsø, this Oslo. 4 wins in 6, yet the markets can't be bothered with them at 2.2. Very lukewarm favourite. I've been solidly on Oslo's side, as I do with Tromsø when they play. They're on an exceptional run, and the market keeps pricing Tromsø at 1.8 to over evens. You just hoover it up. Could be the same with Oslo today. The form side, 4 wins in 6. Well, Sarpsborg are solid, but too many draws, and Sandefjord are avoiding draws. So that would be my angle in, and possibly a late play, taking on any late draw. Bodo Glimt against Vejle. You already know what to expect, don't you? You already know 1.20 home favourite has its inferences. We're looking for Bodo Glimt to break through before half-time, which indeed they tend to do at home. They do tend to lead and score first at home. We're looking for 2 or 3 goals from Bodo Glimt today, possible win to nil as well. So that's what that 1.2 infers. They have been going through an uncomfortably poor run of late, but they do tend to fall foul only of the big guns. Norwegian Obos-ligaen. I'm not going to look in depth into the Obos-ligaen. I have done the research for members of footballtradingprofits.com, so it's all there available to you. Standouts for me, Lillestrøm might be tested for the first time this season, the newly relegated side. Loving life in the Obos-ligaen, absolutely dominant, unbeaten so far this season. An excellent trading side, by which I mean they concede the first 2 goals. They have tended to come back and remain unbeaten. Well worth following. Kongsvinger against Mjøndalen. Mjøndalen, the wheels are falling off. Ask Bosun, he'll tell you. Mjøndalen, Dodgepot City, the Hoffenheim of the Obos-ligaen, the Manchester United of the Obos-ligaen. Totally untrustworthy. I'll be confidently looking at taking on any Mjøndalen lead today. Arlesund against Moss, 1.62 home favourites, I do like. Polish Ekstraklasa and First Division, I can't give you any in-depth research into this at all. We've got a bit of a big clash. Lechia Gdańsk against Lech Poznan. That could decide the title a bit later on in Lech Poznan's favour if they can get the 3 points. Pogoń, strong favourites at home at 1.6. And Piasklewice, 2.38 the favourite. In the Polish First Division, I do look for Arka Gdynia, but I think they're newly promoted. So watch out for them in the Ekstraklasa. I don't know much about the Polish First Division sides, albeit to say it'll be on my in-play stats feed if the in-play stats suggest a goal. Steaua Bucharest are out and about today in Romania. Could be well worth following. Hermannstadt have some business to conclude after... Sorry, I'm sounding like Rod Stewart here. After a disappointing 2-2, after leading 2 goals in their opener, Hermannstadt. So they've got something to prove, but they're not favoured today. Scottish League Cup. Again, short odds. Inferences throughout. Dundee FC, Dunfermline, Falkirk, Hamilton, Diddy David, Kilmarnock, Livingston. Looks like it's the turn of the SPL side to be at home on this occasion. And with it comes an avalanche of odds-on favourites at home. This is great news for us traders because we've got those inferences, haven't we, which proved so effective yesterday. The market seems to be getting the Scottish League Cup right. So anything 1.3 or lower, you're expecting 3 goals at least. You're expecting a breakthrough before half-time. Possible win to nil. Possible goals in both halves. So have some fun with the Scottish Cup. I'll be up and about for that as well. And it continues. This is a War and Peace video. Blimey. It's going to be longer than that film The Irishman at this rate. Swedish Allsvenskan. Malmo against Bromma Pochkana. Let's have a look. A 1-2 head-to-head win for Bromma is the only win they've had against the top 9. It looks to me like a flash in the pan, that win against Malmo in the previous head-to-head. I'll be looking for Malmo to go back to expectation for an odds-on away side. So watch out for that today. Bromma do have the win in the head-to-head, but they don't tend to win against the top 9. GAIS have really stood out this season for me in the Allsvenskan. I don't know how to pronounce them. Is it Gaias? That sounds a bit Julian Clary-esque, doesn't it? Double entendres. Gaias. Gais. How am I going to pronounce them without getting cancelled? I'll have some pink-haired loon outside my balcony protesting if I keep saying Gaias. Gais, I think we'll call them, against Halmstad. The standout side in the Allsvenskan for me outside of the big guns should bring it all home and easily. Degerfors against Norrköping. Arthur C. Clarke's mysterious world. 7 consecutive defeats, I think it is, for Degerfors, and they are favourite today. as Les Dennis would say, I would give that one short shrift. Braga against Umeå, stand out for me. Umeå struggling. Do get on the score sheet, but just struggling for that second goal. Swiss Super League, we've got some very familiar names out, but it's a watching brief at this stage of the season. Young boys will be a staple diet. Basel will back to their very best last season. And those two are playing at 5 o'clock and 7:30. Busy day, as you can see. I will be up and about for members of footballtradingprofits.com from, it looks like, 1 o'clock for the Obos-ligaen, which I've done the full research for members. So we're going to be well placed at 1 p.m. and then move on. Well, it's a busy afternoon. I won't do a live stream just yet. I do tend to do a live stream on a Saturday and Sunday for members of footballtradingprofits.com, but not today. It's just going to be a bit of a mishmash. It's a watching the in-play stats day today. Just have the in-play stats in the background and react. But we do have some angles in the matches we can research. Have a great day today. I will see members of footballtradingprofits.com from 1 p.m. for a Telegram session.